Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in to another video. This week's video is going to be a quick video on what I think that you should focus on when you're buying and selling in the same market. So I've been having this conversation a lot lately, and obviously price is the number one factor that sellers focus on. And price is a very important factor, especially if you're selling maybe a second property, a cottage, maybe a rental property. You're selling your home and you're going to invest that money and you're going to go rent, or you're going to move to Florida. Then price should really be at the forefront because that's the money that you're potentially putting in your pocket. But when you're buying and selling in the same market, price should not be the only consideration, nor maybe is it the most important consideration. There's a lot of other factors that come into play. First thing to look at is closing date. Let's say you're selling your home before you're buying a new one, which in this market I think is a very smart thing to do because you know exactly what you're going to get, and then you can go shopping with more negotiating power. If a buyer comes along and wants a quick closing, let's say 30-day closing on your property, then you're going to be kind of under the gun to find a new property, especially if you're looking for something unique that's going to fit your family. You may have unexpected costs if you can't find something within that time for a rental, extra moving if you have to move your stuff to storage and then move it to your new place once you find it, and probably a lot of inconvenience for you or you and your family. The other example is if you have a longer closing, and let's say someone buys your property, they want a 90-day closing, you find something that seller needs to close in 30 days. So you take occupancy of that property. Well, your current home's not closed yet. You're gonna have double the carrying costs, you're going to have bridge financing costs, and you may have a little bit of stress over your head as, oh, is that buyer going to close on my house, or am I going to get stuck in a legal battle carrying two properties? Second, conditions. Conditions are very important. Not so much a normal financing and inspection condition. Usually you'll find out in 5 business days if that buyer is going to fulfill their conditions on your property, or if they're going to sign a mutual lease and walk away. But a common condition coming in this market we're in is sale of buyer's property. So if you get a sale of buyer's property, you or your agent or whoever's helping you out with this sale needs to really dig into that clause and see, where's that buyer's property? Is it listed? When's it going to be listed? Who's listing it? What market is it in? Is it a competitive price for that market? Is it marketed correctly? There's a lot of unknowns that go along with this buyer's property. And if you accept a sale of buyer's property with a property that buyer is not going to sell or likely not going to sell, that means your home's just going to sit on the market for longer and longer. And although people like to say that agents will still show your property, you will most likely get less showings when you have a sold conditional with escape clause header on your listing. Third and final is price delta between the home you're moving into. So this is a conversation I've been having a lot lately, and it's kind of a tough pill to swallow, and you really need to rationalize things. So price is a lot of the time at the forefront, as it should be. But if you're buying and selling in the same market, it's not as important as the delta between the buy and sale price. So let's say you're buying a house for $600,000 and you want to sell your house for $700,000 and put $100,000 into your pocket. Okay, easy example. Now let's say I offer you $600,000 for your house. You're probably going to be pretty upset because it's $100,000 less than you were expecting. That's $100,000 less in your pocket. But what if I told you that home that you were looking to buy for $600,000 is now $500,000? So you still have that same $100,000 delta, but I would argue this is even better because you have less commissions on your transaction, you have lower land transfer tax fees. It really is a better scenario in a lot of ways, but mentally, it's hard to get over the fact that you potentially left $100,000 on the table, but you're also buying something at a $100,000 discount. This is very common for people who saw their neighbor sell in, let's say, February or March of 2022 for X $100,000 over what their home's worth now. But you have to remember, that neighbor who sold, unless they just sold and went and flew off to Panama and bought a condo down there for cash, they also had to buy in that market and they also overpaid. So it really is the delta that we need to focus on here. And this is really important to understand. There's 3 quick tips on buying and selling in today's real estate market. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. All my info is in the description below, kehoerealestate.com. Thank you for watching and stay tuned next week for a new video.